friends, it's Amy from Life Redesigned, where you grow through what you go through. Hey, today I wanted to come in and talk to you about fear. It is something that a lot of us get scared of. It's a place that we often tend to travel alone and become very isolated. And it's been on my heart to share with you and kind of talk with you a little bit about what fear looks like, how we can step into it, and how that can shift even in our business relationship. So fear arises when we feel harm or threat coming on. And fear is often actually known as a negative emotion. But the great thing is that we are able to boss around our emotions a little bit more than what we think. So we are able to tell fear if we are grasping onto that negative emotion, or if we turn that into something positive and accept and enroll love to come right along with that. Our brains are hardwired for fear. So basically to give us a heads up for danger in any way. So the good thing is that that itself is a positive. You know, we need that. We need that fear, and we've been hardwired that way since we've been born. And so today I wanted to just kind of mention 3 things to remember about fear, and maybe just talk about what we can do in our business when we witness fear, fear even within our business setting. So number 1, the danger that we feel can be real or made up. It's really important that when we feel fear, we identify where it's coming from prior to any reaction. So there's 3 different kinds of fear. There's irrational, rational, and then primal fear. So some examples of rational fear are like afraid of sleeping in the dark, being afraid of heights, dying. Some examples of primal fear are being afraid of spiders, being afraid of snakes. And an irrational fear a lot of times is brought on by a traumatic experience. So you'll see a lot of triggers within that type of fear. So it's really important that we identify which type of fear we're having so that we can know and understand and realize and plan and talk about how we're actually going to press into it first and deal with it and be proactive with it versus just run away, because it's just going to keep coming back. So once you're able to identify the fear, you'll know how to respond to it. So we'll have to face it, visualize it, breathe through it, take time out, step into it, talk about it. There's a lot of different ways that we can actually kind of focus on dealing with it, so to speak. You know, I have one of my great friends. I met her when she was afraid of spiders, and she stepped into that fear by wearing a ring of that had a spider on it, and she faced and stepped into her fear. I have another friend who was completely fearful of being in front of an audience, and she stepped into that fear by going on a stage in front of a couple to few hundred people, and stepped into that so she could face that fear. I have another friend who's afraid of heights, and she went skydiving. So there's lots of different ways that you can kind of like understand, you know, and kind of press into it. If you're looking at a triggering fear, or, you know, anxiety related fear that can really ramp up the feelings and the triggers and the emotions and the body temperature, shaking, you know, all of that stuff. Don't remember to take a time out, remember to step back, remember to ask for help, remember to talk about it. Those are all things that we need to face it, to visualize it, to step into it, and to overcome. And number 3, fear is a basic emotion, and it's already programmed into our nervous system, like I was saying before. So the great thing is that we've been born and equipped with these survival mechanisms. So a really powerful thing with our body is that our body you know, a little bit of that is intuition, but our body tells us when to be fearful. So a lot of that is that intuition that we feel like, nope, this is not right. I'm getting scared. And there's a reason why that is there. So it can be positive because it's warning us. It's warning us that there's danger ahead, and it's warning us of a place or a space or a person or a thing to not get closer, to not get involved, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really important that we slow down when we're in our fear so that we can pay attention to where it's going to take us. So it's all about allowing ourselves to slow down and take control of that fear versus turning away, running away because we are too scared. So with this, you know, also recognizing that business can actually be, I mean, obviously it's in our life all around us, but stepping into business, it can be everywhere as a business owner. We can run into business when we are, you know, not having enough finances, low self-esteem, not thinking that you're good enough to start a business, your business goes through troubles and not having enough confidence to really understand that your business is going to make it, not understanding your business journey, failing in business, going through a lifelong learning lesson. So with all of this, recognize the fear in your present business journey, and then let's figure out how we can actually press into it. Okay, so I want you to imagine, here comes fear, you're turning around, running, or you're actually turning about face and facing it head on when you are in business. This is so important to do. And there's so much support out there of how you can actually go through it. So number one, step into it. Don't run away. Step into it. Don't be afraid of it. Be confident that you can do it and don't back down. Number two, talk to somebody. Hire a coach. Talk to somebody that's been through what it is that you are going through in your business. Find someone that has what you want. If you do what they do long enough, you can get what they got. Find someone that has been through fear in the same situation that you have too, so they can help you through it. And number three, take action. Sometimes when we meet fear, we shut down. We shut down. It's scary. It's too much. It's a lot to deal with, and we don't want to face it. And I'm telling you, the biggest thing in business is when fear comes, you've got to press into it. You've got to press into it. You've got to step into it. You've got to jump into the fire of fear and be like, okay, how am I going to overcome this? What steps do I need to take? Who do I need to talk to? What is my personal journey as the leader of this business going to look like? Friends, fear can just be so much, but it can also, it can be so much, and we can look at it as such a negative thing, but it can be such a powerful thing too. So I want to share with you about something that I'm super passionate about coming up in February, the last weekend of February. My friend and I, Heidi Coker, are hosting a Fearless You retreat in Atlanta, Georgia. It's in the beautiful mountains north of Atlanta. We've got a house reserved, and we've got space just for you. We only have space for 4 more women to come and join us. That 4 women that want to step into the fear. Don't be afraid. Have you been waiting and waiting and waiting to talk about fear, to be in a safe space, to step into a place that you're like, you know what, it's time. The time is now, and I want to heal, and I want to step into that. This is your time. We're so excited to bring to you things like yoga, sunrise, Tai Chi, breath work. We are going to be having a fire ceremony, a cacao ceremony, journal prompting questions. You're going to be with community of other like-minded women that also want to step into the fire of fear and heal. We're going to be representing love and cherishing all of the time that we're going to be spending together. And Heidi and I are going to take you through an amazing weekend that I promise you is going to change your life. If you missed the Art of You retreat that we did in Michigan this last summer, you're not going to want to miss this. We're only taking a small group of people because we want to keep this intimate, and we know that's the best form of therapy, and the best way to step into your fear is with other like-minded women that are facing and trusting in the same process. The second that I stepped into fear, and the moments that I stepped into fear instead of running away, were the moments that have changed my life for the better. And I'll never, ever, ever, ever look back and regret that. And it was so hard. The work was so hard, but it was so worth it because I got to see the love and the beauty and the cultivation of stepping into my fear on the other side. And I want to share the same thing with you. I'm going to post a link underneath this video. Just give me a 1 in the comments if you're watching this live. Give me a 2 if you're watching the replay, and give me a 3 in the comments. Give me a fire if you are ready to step into your fear, to get lit with us, and to really focus on how this can change your life. If you've been turning your back to fear all this time, if you've been too afraid to talk about it in business, if you've been too afraid to face it in your relationship, if you've been too scared or too unknown, or anything like that, this is going to be your time. I promise you it's going to change your life. I can't wait to see you all soon. Give me some messages in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Give me a fist if you're up for facing your fear, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night.